All right, this is Tom.
This is Joe.
And this is No Huntsville. Welcome to another episode. Today we have Amy, Derek, and Walter from James Clemens High School. Presentation of The Little Shop of Horrors coming around May 1st through May 3rd. Guys, welcome to the studio. Thanks for coming and talking to us today.
Thank you.
All right, so let's talk about the complexity of actually putting a musical together, which seems like a real daunting task because it's kind of the triple threat, right?
Yeah.
So we have choreography, we have dance, or we have singing, and we also have the acting side of it. So talk a little bit about that.
That's it. You're putting on 3 shows all at the same time. And so everything's threefold. The rehearsal time, the talent that you need for the show, everything. You need kids who can act and sing and dance. And so that's one of the reasons why we wanted to do this our second year, because it is just our second year as a high school.
And this is your first musical.
It's our first musical.
Right.
So I was really pleased when we took the leap, not really knowing what that base was going to be. I knew I had kids who could act, and I knew I had some who could sing, and I had some who could dance, but I didn't know if I could get enough of them who could do all 3, all together. And so I was really excited when they came to the auditions, and they were already impressing us. And then when Walter came in, he's one of our teachers, and came in and said, "So is this open to faculty too?"
Sneaking his way into the show, right?
Yeah. The voice is a perfect fit, though. You couldn't have asked for it.
Well, they announced they were going to be putting on Little Shop of Horrors, a musical, and I said, "There's no kid in this school that's going to be a plant better than I can. Yeah. I want that role."
And so you are Audrey II in the show, right?
Yeah.
I'm the voice of the plant, and so I made sure I was going to audition for it. I was hungry. I said, "I'm going to get this."
Yeah. And he didn't want to sneak in. He said, "I'm going to go through the auditions just like everybody else, and if another kid beats me, I'm glad for them." And I said, "That's awesome. I'd love that." And of course, he just blew us away.
Well, speaking of Audrey II, so let's talk about the hard part of putting this play together is got to be the central player in it, which is Audrey II, which is the huge man-eating plant. Yeah. So let's talk about how you guys went about putting that together.
There's a lot that goes into putting that together. We had to consult some people locally here in Huntsville, and Amy can elaborate a little bit more on that. But from the school perspective, students are participating as directors, as the choreographer, and they're doing the construction. So we come down to the sets and the plan itself. So all the different phases of Audrey II that have to be made. The kids are finding the materials, they're putting them together, they're shaping them together. They consulted YouTube and some other sources on the internet in order to find out, how are we going to put this thing together? What can it look like? What should it look like? And they put their own spin on it. And it's tough. It's been real tough.
It's got to be functional too. There's some moving parts to this thing. It actually eats people. So
and there are really 4 different Audrey IIs.
Because it grows
the middle
over
one,
right.
And it's got to be big enough to eat somebody. That's quite a tall task.
Yeah.
But,
all right, so what we haven't talked to is Derek yet. You're playing one of the leading roles, right? So you're Seymour in the play.
Yes, sir.
Seymour.
Well, this was another question I had for Amy as the director in putting this thing together. How hard was it to get the students in this generation to get involved in a play that was popular back before they were even born? And I was going to ask you some questions about whether you had even seen the play, have you seen the movie prior to this coming up to the school?
You want to go first?
Yeah, you tell them. Did you know Little Shop?
Of course I'd seen jokes and stuff on TV and stuff like that, but I've never actually seen the musical. I had no idea it even existed. I didn't know there was a story about a giant man-eating plant and some dude who fed him actual people, and that it was like some kind of horror, twisted comedy kind of thing.
Aren't you glad you know it now, though?
More or less. I'm glad to be a part of it, though. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You can breathe a sigh of relief once it's done and you get it out there, but I'm sure it's a lot too, because this is your first musical, which means you haven't really sung in front of a live audience like this before, have you?
Well, I did one time in a talent show, but let's not dwell on that.
We're moving on.
Yep. So I've only really done like 2 plays, and I'm really excited for this musical because I don't want to sound conceited, but I'm not a bad singer. I've sang in the shower a lot. I've had a lot of shower practice. Yep.
You gotta have the confidence.
And I auditioned for drama with my ukulele to get in, and I played one of the songs, and I don't have it now. I don't think we'd have time for that, but
It's another day. You can just
Another
do a
day.
concert.
I think this generation, they've seen like High School Musical and the things that Disney has done, and then
Right.
their parents may have shown them Grease and possibly a West Side Story.
Yeah.
But this is one of those that unless you saw the movie and saw it on cable or on a rerun, something on TV, that
Right.
they hadn't necessarily been exposed to it.
Sure.
It's more of a cult classic.
Absolutely.
Sure,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, the music itself and the story it's fun. It's a sweet. It's got everything,
Sure.
It's got your romance, it's got your comedy, it's got your violence, it's everything that a great story has. It's got love. And so I think I can't speak for the students, but I think that's been the thing that drew them in. It was something they could really, bite into. It's fun music. You get it caught in your head. You find yourself bopping along during the rehearsals, and
Right.
so even though we're working really hard because it's a musical and it's such a huge production, it's fun and they sound fantastic and they look good, and sometimes I just stop and I just get caught up in the scene because they're really, really good. It's
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I'm impressed.
That's
I'm
great.
impressed by them.
So, go ahead.
Oh, folks are going to go on YouTube and you're going to say, let's see how Little Shop of Horrors looks out here. There's going to be different productions from different community theaters and high schools, but this is going to be one of the most fantastic productions that you're going to see in your lifetime. I'm not just saying that it is a great, combination of the talent, of the story, and the execution of it, that all the time and sweat and blood and tears is gone into preparing this is going to be worth the ticket.
Yeah.
Definitely. They're going to want to see it twice.
Well, at $10 and $12, I think it's possible.
That's
Right, right.
That's right.
So in addition to the musical you guys are putting on, you're also getting involved with local charity work with the Casa Garden out in Madison. So tell us about the work and how you got the students involved in that.
I think it's important to make theater part of the community, and that we don't just exist within the walls of the school.
Right.
And so each year that we do a major production, I like to find something that puts us out in the community and we can do service. And so this year we are partnering with Casa Gardens because I like to find something that ties in. And
the man-eating plant ties into the
I really struggled. I didn't know what organization, but our plant eats people,
Right.
And Casa Gardens, they actually grow a garden, harvest the produce, and then they use that to feed the elderly and homebound. They deliver that vegetables to.
a perfect time.
I think so too, and it's a fun way to really help our
getting eaten.
community. Absolutely, something's getting eaten either way, yeah. And they'll be tomorrow. We're going to go, and we're actually going to wear our gloves and get our hands dirty and help them in the garden, and then they'll set up. At
Tomorrow
the
you'll be
school.
somewhere that's green.
I will. That's right. That's it.
Audrey was here.
I know. If Kinsey were here, she'd sing it for us.
So let me go ahead and plug the garden. It's
Yeah.
at 4725 Bob Wallace Avenue. Their website is casamadisonCTY.org/casa-garden, and you can find them easily on Facebook. So that's great. I love how that tie-in. I love their
Yeah.
community work and really helping them out, so that's great. So guys, thanks so much for coming in,
Yeah,
talking to us about
thank
your
you.
production.
Hey Tom,
Yeah, go ahead.
let's give them just a little taste of what they're gonna
Let's
see.
do it.
A little
Go
taste.
ahead.
We'll take it from the dun 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 dun. If you want a rationale, it isn't very hard to see. No, stop and think it over, pal. The guy sure looks like plant food to me. The guy sure looks like plant food to me. The guy sure looks like plant food to me. Yeah.
So nasty, treating her rough.
Pushing her around and always talking so tough.
You need blood, and he's got more than enough.
I need blood and he's got more than enough. I need blood and he's got more than enough. So go get him. Dun, dun.
Good.
Clemens High School production of Little Shop of Horrors starting May 1st at 7 p.m., May 2nd, 7 p.m., May 2nd, 7 p.m., May 3rd, 2 p.m., and again at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks again for coming in. This is
Thank you.
I'd like to remind our listeners that the Audrey II will be on display exclusively at Mushnick Skid Row floors, open 6 days a week and 10 to 6.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
That was fun, guys. It's good to do it that second time.